Hello everyone, welcome to my first video on Hogwarts Legacy. This is going to be a full playthrough, so sit back, relax and enjoy. Pleased to inform you you've been accepted Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as a 5th year student. Term begins on 1st of September. I've got a while to wait then. So Togurius. How do you spell Togurius? Togurius. Obviously, people who know Warhammer 40k and know the Ultramarines know that he is the best psyker in the Ultramarines chapter. Maybe this is his like great. I'm not even going to say how many great granddads. As this is like a full playthrough, I am going to include all of the cutscenes, mainly because they do give flavour. I am unfortunately going to talk over most of them, so luckily I have kept the words at the bottom.
You'll be a force to be reckoned with when you get your own. Thank you, Professor Fig. I appreciate you working with me all the time.
I find the character creation is a bit odd, because there's not really that much you can do to change the look of your character. There are a few things, but you can't change like facial shapes. You've just got a load of facial shapes that you can select. You can't change the shape of your nose, for example. So you do end up kind of looking like some of the Harry Potter characters, regardless of what you do. So I think my character kind of looks like the older Daniel Radcliffe. I mean, he is a 5th year, so quite possible. But he does, to me, just look like the older Daniel Radcliffe, unfortunately. Wasn't my intention, I must say. But there we go. So in this one playthrough, like I say, I have played this game before. I have completed it before. I completed it. Hopefully I got a lot of stuff done. But I didn't complete absolutely everything, and I'm sure there's probably going to be some hidden bosses or something that I just completely missed. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. This is obviously the start of the video, not the end, but I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to watch, and hopefully you're going to have as much fun with these videos as I am making them. There are going to be a number of videos in this series, this being obviously the first, but I have played the game before, so it won't be that much of a shock for me. Maybe for you though. Quite interesting that Portkey Games are involved in this, because I'm sure they're the people who did the Pokemon Go version of Harry Potter. Can't even remember what it was called, but they did a game very similar to Pokemon Go.
And who is your traveling companion?
But I do think this plays out quite like a movie. I think they've done a very good job of it. Now, Avalanche have done a load of things in the past, and to be honest, they are, which is quite embarrassing. But yeah, they've done a lot in the past, which is pretty decent. So, I was surprised how good this game was, though, especially with all of the drama when it first released about don't buy it because of the person who created the Harry Potter series. I'm not being funny, but regardless of your political views, you can still have a very good world that's been created.
Have you seen this?
Don't know what happened then. The sound disappeared. I don't know whether it just happened for me, but that was weird.
I believe he is a significant.
Oh, there be dragons.
And it was your wife, Eleazar, who alerted me to his activities months ago. Miriam? How? She wrote to me
Got pretty good emotions on the faces in this. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not picture perfect, they're not like real life or anything like that, but they have done a pretty decent job of getting them to look like the emotion they're trying to show.
It came to me via her owl,
And they kind of do look like they're in the
I can
1800s.
only assume that she had to get rid of it quickly to keep it safe. Presumably from Ranrock. I cannot open it. Whatever magic protects this is powerful indeed. It looks like goblin metal. That symbol. What's that glow? I don't see a glow. Nor do I. Merlin's beard. How did you... Wait!
Oh dear. Georgie boy. I see, you can see the Threstrals now. You've just seen somebody die. Poor old George. I think wizards have a way of, like, making a parachute or something. This almost seems to be extremely hard, extremely difficult. So we've not even started really playing the game and we've already been attacked by a dragon. This is, I suppose, one way of starting out on your school year. Injured, lost, and being attacked by winged mythical creatures. So let's get ourselves healed up and back on track and find out what is going on.
What happened? Poor George. I can't believe he... What the hell got into that damn thing? Attacking a carriage mid-air? A typical dragon would never...
Professor? Sir, where are we?
I'm not sure. But that key you discovered...
Where are we indeed?
Portkey.
Oh, the old typical. Go too low in the camera and it almost goes first person.
I'm feeling better, sir, if you'd like to look around a bit.
I would. But stay close. We've no idea who created this portkey. Or why.
So I'm going to give some of my impressions from my first playthrough. Now, bearing in mind my first playthrough is when the game first came out. It wasn't on the PS5 Pro, which this one is. So graphically, this is better than it was. I'm not sure about the gameplay, as in FPS or anything like that, because it's all been cutscenes so far. But just from my first playthrough, I was extremely impressed in how this made me feel like I was in the wizarding world, which is obviously quite difficult, especially as there are certain things that games usually do well, but there are other things that they do poorly. And in most cases, not all, but in most cases, atmosphere they do quite poorly when they're trying to do a movie or book tie-in. If it's a standalone game, then atmosphere is relatively simple, especially when it's a horror. But to get atmosphere in a non-horror game is extremely hard, especially to make it fit in with the universe it's trying to match. I mean, prime example is the Avengers game. You know, the Avengers is, from an atmosphere point of view, is very comic book inspired. It's obviously superheroes, so, you know, lots of power, fun, but at the same time, lots of action. And the atmosphere of the game was just almost paint by numbers style. We've got this in it, we've got this in it, we've got this in it. And it would have been very easy for this game to fall into that. I'm going to say error as well. But luckily it didn't. Luckily they did a really good job of actually building that atmosphere into the game.
But sir, why was your wife searching for evidence of lost magic?
Now, I always thought when I first played this that you had to follow Professor Fig, but
spoke of the good
Obviously not. He doesn't even run to catch you up, which is hilarious.
than any power.
I wonder if this...
Matters is the one who wields
oh
it.
god, it's been so long, I can't even remember. R2 to cast, I
Is that
believe.
ice?
It's not cold
But then
enough
it just
here.
seemed to raise my wand
It
up.
appears
I'm
to
not
be a
quite
sort
sure
of
why.
enchantment. Someone wanted to block this path. Let's see some of that wand work you were practicing. Focus on the center.
I mean, not being funny, right? That was the worst blockade enchantment I've ever seen. Because if a student that's never actually been to school can destroy it with 3 smacks from the most basic attack with a wand, who was it trying to keep out?
Thank you, sir.
Because if it's trying to keep people out, then A, how did they get there? And B, wouldn't they find it a bit weird that there was just this black ice wall in the way when there's no ice anywhere else? All very weird.
Ah, up there.
Sure, there we go. I was going to say, I'm sure I have to jump up there. Smash all pots. In all games like this, always smash any pots that you see. Because you never know whether they're going to contain anything, or whether there is some form of achievement stroke trophy that you're going to get for breaking them all in a certain area.
Now it's just ahead.
It's easy to miss them as well. I remember one game, I can't remember what game it was, but you did get a trophy for breaking every pot in the game, and some of them were really well hidden. And I remember at the time I got to the end of the game and it actually gave a breakdown about how many pots were broken, and I missed it by 1. So I really couldn't be bothered to go back through it. But yeah, always break everything that you find. Especially as in a lot of games you get stuff out of them as well. In this they just seem to break, which seems almost pointless, but you never know. One day I might get something out of one. Can't even remember whether you do. It's been a while. I'd have liked to have changed the colour of that cast, so it was green.
I suspect they value
It's too much like the evil.
That portkey led us here for a reason. Let's have a look around for anything that
Have a look around, shall we?
out of place.
Right, I must apologise. If you can hear kind of like some funny noises in the background, I am absolutely... I'm not going to say starving, because I'm obviously not. I'm too big for that. But I am really hungry. And the only thing we've got in at the moment is bread, and I'm trying to stay off bread because I'm trying to lose weight. So
This may have been his home.
need to go out and get something, but really needed to get this this playthrough done. Needed is a strong word. Wanted to get this playthrough done. Because I'm hoping this is going to be the first video in a series. I've recently been watching ButchX3. He does a lot of different games, and his version of video making is just amazing. It's all like storytelling, and he's been playing Ark recently, and I had wanted to do an Ark playthrough, but I kind of feel that there is no way I'd get an audience when he's out there doing Ark playthroughs. Not only that, I'm really not a big fan of playing Ark solo. I have had to for the last few times, but it's much better multiplayer. Now this game would be amazing multiplayer, but it is just a single player game, unfortunately. If they ever did either an add-on expansion or something like that where you could play with friends, that would just be amazing. You imagine a group of 3, the same as Harry, Ron and Hermione, just going around and playing the story or doing objectives or whatever it might be. Personally, I think that would be absolutely amazing.
Why would someone have conjured that enchanted stone here?
And how is there a room behind it?
What room? I don't see anything.
Room.
There's
What
that
room?
glow again, like the glow on the portkey
I mean room.
container.
It's a room. What room?
What in Merlin's name?
No drinking, please.
Godric's heart.
Where are we?
I don't believe it.
Godric's heart, Merlin's beard.
Hello?
Now, I'm going to ask, leave down in the comments what you think of cutscenes. Personally, I really like a good cutscene. I think it's a really good way of tying the story together, and it gets to show off the graphical prowess of things. Bearing in mind all of this is in-game graphics as well. But yeah, I do like a good cutscene where, yes, control is taken out of your hands, but at the same time, it allows them to tell the story at the pace that they want to and make sense. But let me know below what you think, because I know they are very divisive.
To Gringotts Wizarding Bank.
My first experience with cutscenes was Diablo 2,
I presume.
and the Diablo 2 cutscenes were just ridiculously good, for the time, at least. Obviously not as good these days.
It's Porky.
Diablo 2 Resurrected did have remastered versions of the cutscenes, which were also very good. But these are, in my opinion, some of the best, because they're maintaining the aesthetic. They're actually using in-game models, which is really nice, but they also really do help to tell the story. And I do believe that these are part of the reason it does get the atmosphere so good, because they're able to basically give you the same scene setting as they do in the Harry Potter movies, and the I was going to say Newt Scamander movies. They're not called that, but obviously that's what they are. They follow him. He is the main character through all of them. Yes, we have Grindelwald as the bad guy through all of them, but he's the bad guy, so he doesn't deserve to be the name of the movies, even though he's the name of one of them. But yeah, I just like the way they do this, and the fact that the subtitles are underneath doesn't really bother me, simply because, well, A, it helps you see what's going on while I'm waffling away at the same time. But at the same time, I think they just help give it that kind of movie appearance. Don't ask me why. I think they could get rid of who's saying it. It doesn't really matter who's saying it, I don't think. And in movies, when they have subtitles, they don't really include that sort of... I suppose you can see who's talking at the time. I think that's probably why, but they don't include the name. Halt! Go no further! Even though he's not really going to stop anyone because they're on tracks, but there we go.
Vault 12. Momentous day.
On your way.
Hey up, he's running away. Get him.
Professor, the armband that guard was wearing was glowing.
Like the glow you saw in the Porky container.
No, darker. I saw that same glow on the dragon's collar.
Yeah, what was that? We were just wondering about that goblin back there. He watches over the oldest section of the bank. Rare anyone goes there anymore.
Wonder whether he's the only one who watches over this area of the bank. Because if he is, he must never get any sleep.
Here we are.
When was the last time this vault was accessed?
A goblin has been stationed at my desk for hundreds of years. In that time, no one has visited Vault 12. Until
Oh,
today.
chest. Oh, for God's sake. I thought you were able to open that chest. Or can you?
12. Thank you.
Is it one of these that you basically get teleported inside? I can't remember. I'm hoping it's not. No, it isn't. Excellent. Open. 36 gold. Better than a kick in the teeth, as they say.
What do you suppose we should be looking for?
I'm not sure. Sir, I wonder if you might...
So, they must be the best enchanted. They must be the best enchanted candles in the world, because they're still burning and no one's been down there for 400 years.
Professor?
That was certainly
Luckily,
unexpected.
in this sort of situation, in a game like this, that makes sense. It's when you get games like Skyrim and you literally crack open a tomb that's never been opened and the candles inside are burning and you think,
Let's see what we're missing.
who lit the candles and the torches?
Ready your wand and focus.
Right. Now, depending on the difficulty you play, the actual red line follows you at different speeds, and if you play on story difficulty, which is the very first difficulty, then there is no red line chasing you.
Move a bit closer and try
It does make things a lot easier. If you basically just want the story
A door.
and you're not overly worried about
That's a start.
difficulty, I
Where's that
would
symbol again?
say select story mode,
Suppose you see a way
just
to-
because it's a much nicer pace.
Symbol has the same
Um,
color as the one I saw on the port key container.
If what
I
you
never
think
have,
reveals the way
but
forward,
my
then I dare say we are about to
stepdaughter
discover the secret of
has
this vault.
played this and she did pick story mode, and it did seem to be a lot more forgiving. I mean, she is 18, so she can play games, but yeah, it's just one of those personal choices. I've always been of the opinion that you should never feel like you have to play the largest,
Some sort of
highest
plot.
difficulty. There are some people out there who think you're not a real gamer unless you do play the highest difficulty. But being a gamer is you play games as your main pastime. It's not you play games at the top tier of everything. So I just thought that's worth saying, because games like this really are more about the experience rather than the challenge in most cases. If you do want a challenge, you can put the difficulty right up to its highest, and trust me, make one mistake you are going to notice and you're probably going to get killed. But I don't think that's the intention. The intention is not to have this as the sort of difficulty you'll find in Dark Souls, for example. Really isn't what they're after.
Glow. It suddenly seemed as if the ground was swirling about.
Are you all right?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
You seem to have caused the floor to change.
Seem to have caused the floor to change.
What statue?
I see some sort of statue, but only as a reflection in the floor.
Oh, itchy nose. Worst time. Now I remember
There
the
must be
light
something to
changes
that reflection
the
you're seeing.
direction of the statue.
Try casting Revelio, perhaps.
Ah,
Revelio.
yeah.
I
That would help.
presume this is what you saw reflected in the floor.
It is. The reflection's still there, but the statue's positions don't match. Wait, when you moved, the reflection turned in the direction of the light.
Perhaps you should cast Lumos.
Here we go. Second spell. What's interesting is the animation of the character does not match the direction that you have to actually
Now the reflection
move the cursor to learn the spell, which is a little bit odd. You'd have thought basically the character would match that shape, because that is the spell shape. But there are some things like that, but at the same time, you know, I don't think any developer will ever get anything 100%. Protego! Come on, Figgy, protect me. really slow reactions at the moment. This is basically why I'm absolutely no good at Souls-likes, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, I just react very slowly. That's why I like co-op games rather than PvP as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to play the PvP in Space Marine 2 at some point, simply because I love the PvP in Space Marine, the original. That's something I'd like to see whether they get right in the second one as well. The only concern I've got in the second one is the maps are really small, whereas one of the benefits and the good things about the maps in the first Space Marine game were that they were quite large, and you had almost whole armies of Space Marines facing off against each other. I think it was 12 versus 12. Whereas the new one's 6v6, which is just weird because technology's improved, but number of players has reduced. Just seems a bit weird to me. Lumos. Okay. And Figgy's disappeared.
Professor Fig.
Runvaro.
Professor, where are you?
Let's go. Let's go.
Where am I supposed to go? What's happening? The wisps of magic. Ah, that's where
You're great. Great. Just times that by 10. Granddad is much more powerful than you are, boy, but what?
Lumos.
Don't. My brain has just gone absolutely mad. Right, do I have to do one after the other in the right order? Oh, hang on. Do I have to?
It seems I have no choice. I'm going to have to fight my way out of here.
There we go. Timing's a bit better. Hold it to stun them with Stupefy. Or you could just not press it at all and get smacked by a big sword. Stupefy. There we go. Yes. Amazing. See, this is what I don't understand about me. When I first started, I couldn't block any of them, and then I just did pretty much all of those with no problems whatsoever. Oh, I remember this opening section is really long, so sorry guys, but the chances are that this video will probably end up being just this opening section, simply because I don't want this to be a like 2-hour video. I mean, around 30 minutes is the max I usually like to go, because people just don't have the time to watch those big videos these days. I mean, you're lucky if you get people to watch anything longer than like 10 minutes these days, but I think my average view time is about 3 minutes, something like that, but you know, I still want to give a big video for those people who do want to watch the lot, to see what this game is like, of course. Ooh, a pensieve. Well, that is basically going to be the end of the first video. I know we didn't really see much, and a lot of it was cutscenes, as is going on screen at the moment.
but as an opener I think it's quite important. I will try and include what's going on screen at the start of my next video, because I have lovely cut off the text at the bottom, but either way I hope to see you in my next video. If you have enjoyed this, found it interesting, please make sure you do click the like button, subscribe if you are new to my channel, and leave me a comment down below or let me know what you thought. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video very soon. You all take care. Bye for now.